Hey guys, it's Fiona from FionaOr.com, and I have two things for you today. The first is a cute story that I think is actually quite profound, and the second is a way of tapping that I developed as I develop a lot of the things I come up with as an experiment on myself that I think you'll find very useful. So first, the story. Back in 2015, a beagle was found in a forest in Kentucky all by himself, and he was taken to a shelter. Now, unfortunately, the shelter was not a no-kill shelter, and so when nobody adopted the beagle, they were going to put him down. Then, all of a sudden, a Canadian beagle rescue group swooped in and got him from the shelter and took him to a shelter in Canada, where an American actress was filming her TV series, fell in love with this beagle, adopted him, and named him Guy. Now, if you don't already know, that American actress was Meghan Markle, who just married England's Prince Harry a few days ago. And the beagle, Guy, was spotted in a car with the Queen on the same seat as the Queen on the way to Windsor Palace the day before the wedding. So what's the moral of this story? Don't ever give up. It doesn't matter. Things can change in an instant. Magic can happen. And now that beagle is living his best life. So from doggy death row to living in a palace with a prince and princess. How amazing is that, right? So yes, thank you, more please to that. The second is a way of tapping that I developed. I was at a Brennan and Burchard event years ago, and he asked us to write down 5 things that we knew would take our business to the next level. And there was one thing that I knew it needed to be on my list, but I had been trying to do this thing since my 20s when I worked with a Fortune 500 company, and I'd never actually been able to do it. And so I wrote it down under a bit of duress. So how many of you guys have those things, right? So it was a Wednesday morning. I had just finished with a client. It was around 10 a.m. in the morning. And I thought, okay, all you have to do is do one little baby step on one thing on your list. And then you don't have to do anything else today for that topic. I opened my list. And of course, my eye went right to that thing, the one that I didn't want to do. And it was going to Toastmasters. So I said, okay, well, what's the smallest baby step that you could do? And it was to find out where a Toastmasters meeting might be. So I went into the website and I put in my zip code, and sure enough, there was a meeting literally, you could probably see it from this window, a block and a half walking distance away. And they had a weekly meeting every Wednesday at noon, just in time for me to take a shower and get over there. Now, what's funny is I would normally probably email and try to get more information. And of course, the email was blacked out, so I wasn't able to do that. And so I actually went and realized that it was pretty okay. It was a small group, and I thought, oh, I can do this. So I signed up. Now, after I paid my money and signed up, the president of the group said, well, the first time you come as an official member, you are going to have to speak. And instantly my stomach dropped and I felt a little sick. So the following Wednesday, when I was getting ready to go to the meeting, I realized that I was getting more and more anxious as the time was approaching, and I felt really sick to my stomach and I didn't want to go. And I thought, oh, I'm kind of sick. Maybe I shouldn't go today. So I thought, well, let me do some tapping. And then how many of you guys ever do that thing where tapping will help, but you don't want to do it? So I didn't really want to do tapping. So I started tapping and nothing's happening. Nothing's shifting. There's no energy there. And I can't really get any juice, right? So I'm just sort of going through the motions. And I think, okay, so what should I do here? Because I still don't want to go to Toastmasters. And at that point I was actually, I don't care if they keep my money. I'm never going to go back. So I thought to myself, well, why are you wanting to go in the first place? Like, what is this going to do for your business? What's the point of going to Toastmasters? And I realized that, I wanted to speak on stage and that someday I would want to do a TED Talk. And so I started tapping there. And what I did was I actually started saying, okay, it sounded something like this. Okay, you don't have to go to Toastmasters today. But here's the thing. If you don't go today, you have to give up your dream of speaking on stage. Like, no one's going to force you to go. But if you don't go today, you can't go next week. You can't go next month. You have to go today. If you don't go today, then you are going to give up your dream of ever giving a TED Talk. And I was like, okay, I'll give up my dream. I don't care. I don't want to go. And I was like, okay. So I just kept tapping with that. Okay, so you are totally okay with giving up your dream and never giving a TED Talk. I was like, yep, I'm okay with that. I'm not a slow learner, but it took me a while, let's just put it that way, to get to what I call the turn, right? So the turn is that part where all of a sudden I was like, no, I don't want to give up my dream. I do want to speak from stage. I do want to do a TED Talk. I was like, okay, so you have to go to Toastmasters and you have to go today. So I call it tapping to infinity. So you basically take the thing that you're wanting to do that you can't make yourself do, and you figure out what is the end result. Like, why do you want to do it in the first place? What are you hoping to get from it? And then it's sort of like the big why of the thing. And then you spin it out. So that's what I call it, tapping to infinity. You take it to its furthest conclusion. And you basically say you're going to give up that dream and then tap. And if you're like me, it might take a while to get to the point where all of a sudden you realize, no, actually, I do want this. And then you can sort of go into more regular tapping to help you get over the fear or whatever's coming up. So I did go, yay! And I have spoken on stage, and I've actually given 3 mini speeches at TEDx SMU over the course of a 3-year period. So give it a try and post on the Facebook page. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear how it works for you. Okay? So bye for now. Bye, guys. Bye.